Hello, my friends. I'm Tenderling. Welcome to my talk on living wisdom. Today's topic is God is man's greatest invention. I'm a professor and psychologist, and my talk today is purely from my personal experience. I was born in Taiwan and raised in Taiwan and was educated in Taiwan. In 1962, I got my bachelor's degree in education from National Normal University. And in 1964, I come to United States. First, I studied at Truman State University in Missouri. Then in 1966, I came to Los Angeles and started my doctorate degree study at the University of California. Besides, I got to study at the East and the West. I also worship at the Eastern Temple and the Western Church. When I was small, I always joined all kind of temple activity at the Guanyin Temple in Pingtung, Taiwan. And it was a tiny, small temple in a village. Right now, it has been renovated into a wow, a gorgeous big temple. And when I went back to Taiwan, I also attend to the temple and worship with them. And when I come to study at the United States, first I joined all kind of church activity in Kirksville, Missouri. Then when I was employed in Columbia, South Carolina, I also attend the Christian church there. And in year 2000, I come to California and retire at the San Francisco Bay, and I joined the Formosan United Methodist Church, and I worship there too. So I worship both at the Eastern Temple and at the Western Church. Not only I get to study and worship at the East and West, I get to travel to the East and the West too. Upon retirement, I have been travel out of the country. I have been in China, Japan, Southeast Asia, and in the West, I have been Spain, Italy, Greek, and Russia, Northern Europe, even Norway. Wow. But specifically, I want to mention these two places. In 2006, I've been traveling in the Indias, and we have been in Central India, visit all kind of Indian temple, cultural sites, even come to Khajuraho to visit the sixth temple, and I went to Varanasi to visit the 6,000-year-old city. And in 2008, when I went to Egypt to travel and Jordan, and we visit wow in Egypt. Give me a really fantastic trip, and we have been there, visit all kind of temple on along the Nile River, temple on one side and a cemetery on the other side. Wow, it's a great experience. From my study and my worship and my travel experience in the East and the West, there's one thing stand out in my mind very deeply. I'm fully in touch with two civilization sites. One is in India, one is in Egypt. In India, one day we visit Mother India temple in Varanasi. Although that was a tiny small temple, but when I walk inside the temple, I look at this uh, marble picture with Himalaya mountain in the back and the whole thing. I was fully in touch by the picture telling me that is how Himalaya mountain shaped the Indian civilization. Why? Because when I was in Taiwan, I already learned that nature shaped the Chinese culture. You know, the Arrow River prairie environment generate Chinese culture in their writing, in their thinking, and they will emphasize in my study, Lao Tzu, Zhuangzi, even Kongzi, anybody, they all emphasize we have to learn from the nature. And even the writing, we have to write our sun or moon like the way the sun or moon looks like. Really how nature influenced the Chinese culture. But when I come to India, I further impressed by how the Himalaya mountain influenced the Indian culture. Every place we visit, from New Delhi, Jaipur, Varanasi, and Kaju Temple, wow! Every place we visit further uh, reinforced my conviction that Himalaya mountain shaped the Indian culture. And in Egypt, the trip, same thing. I was fully in touch with the desert I went to. And one day we visit uh, the Abu Simbel temple in Egypt. And on the way back, wow, we are so lucky on the way back, we are able to look through the mountain window, get to see the mirage. Wow! You can see this picture looks like the water, but actually there's no water down there. And I can see how the Beethoven people can be fooled by mirage because the people live in the desert, they're daily looking for water, and they can be fooled by the mirage and how much they really emphasize they want to have a God to bring them the water. So I was fully amazed by these two civilization sites, one in India and one in Egypt. We know each civilization site have its own specific feature. In Himalaya mountain, we already know they are the tallest mountain in the world, and in the winter time got heavy snowfall, and the summertime got gigantic monsoon rains, and in valley region got all kind of animal and plants. On the other hand, in arid deserts, wow, you can see all the way through is a vast sand-colored terrains. And in the summertime, it was really hot, can be as high as 130 degrees F, and rainfall are very little bit too. It is less than 4 inches in a year. And there people are living in the oasis. But oasis, although it's a tiny spot with a little bit of water, but with a very scale animal and plants. In the east and west, different culture sites have a different rich story about the religion and their God too. And in Eastern religion, when I travel in India, here in the picture I show you, I come to a park which have a statue standing right, very tall, very big statue. And tour guide said this is the statue of Shiva. That is the most popular god in India. But India is not just have one god. Shiva is the god. Shiva's wife is the god. Shiva's son is the god too. And even the restaurant waiter told me in India they have over 1,000 gods. I was very amazed. And on my way to the golden triangle, I even come across with a monkey god. So they have an animal as a god too. So basically in Eastern culture, they are really focused on learn something from nature and to protect the people from a nature catastrophe. So they need all kind of God and God with all kind of features. Sometimes even have a lot of hand, lot of face, and even have a third eyes. And this is very interesting. And in the Eastern cultures, Arab traders, I come with a different type of story. And but here, since it's in the deserts, mainly it's a survival need for the water. So they are looking for a single God. They just need one single God. A single God enough to protect them, even to fight with another tribe. I always in the Bible story heard about when they have a fight with other tribe, they always say, God this time is on our side. So if God will ask, we will definitely going to conquer the other side. So you may overhear about even the church. They always singing onward Christian soldier marching down the wall. Wow, really? Western religion very emphasize power. And people have to get closer to the God to receive the most recent message from the God. God, Jesus said he is the son of the God. That's very close to the God. But Muhammad Ali said, no, that is in the 6th or 7th century AD, I got the most message from the God. So everybody claim they want to be very close to the God, to be the Messiah. So very emphasize to receive the message from the God. So the major way to receive the message from the God is through prayer. People have to pray to the God to get message from the God. And you see, this is quite different from Eastern culture, and it's very interesting. You can see a dramatic contrast between the East and the West. The reason I say man is a product of his environment, so does the religion and the God. And this statement may is really the true story, but it may not be easier for you to accept. And I really feel for me to hear a little bit further explain why I come up with this statement. From my learning in psychology, there are three types of learning principles. One is respondent conditioning, one is operant conditioning, and other one is social learning. Basically, it is said that when there are two things together, happen together, then we learn from it. Find out a relationship between the two. Just like a Canadian neurologist said, when the neuron fire together, they bind together. So this is the way we learn things. I can believe our ancestors, some thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, they learned all kinds of things in order to cope with the environment they live in. If they see so scared about how the mountains, snow, weather, wild animal, lack of rain, need snow to carry the rain come to the earth, whatever, all this coming up, you need it. Basically, they will learn some kind of help and finally they create some religion and God. Because human being basically is limited. Our ability are limited. We cannot do everything all by ourselves. And we need that unlimited God to help us. That's why our ancestors create the God and religion. But how are they created? When I tell you just by these three simple psychological principles, you may not quite catch. So I want to use this example here, shown by countryside daily life. I will happen to see they have a video, and this video show how a sister and brother together catch the brocket snake. They wrestled with him in the palm and finally was able to carry them back home. I was so surprised because I was a person by myself. When I see a tiny small snake, I was so scared of it. I run away from it. But these two, sister and brother, show so much courage without any fear of such a big snake, simply because they were learning in that environment. And they learn by all these principles, responding conditioning, operant conditioning, and social learning, whenever learn from each other, and finally they know how to catch such a big snake. So you can see, really, human being is a product of its environment, and because they are limited, we are limited. We cannot do everything by ourselves. We need help. So therefore, they even was able to create the religion they want and the God they want. Let me make a brief summary here. I see the major difference between East and West in their religion and God. In the East, since our ancestors have a very rich living environment, all full of nature, all kind of plant, animals, everything. But all this nature provide a lot of threat to the life too. Therefore, our ancestors in the East, they create a religion and their own God with specific feature. They want to have a lot of God to protect them. And these God have a superpower. They may have a lot of hand. They may have a lot of head. They may even have a third eyes. And they even employ animal for head. But basically speaking, didn't know the God we created is a symbol of wisdom. This God knows everything about the nature, about the life, even about the cosmos. So in your life, they are already touch upon not just this life, past life, also next life. So they are focused on all kind of reincarnation or no incarnation. Whatever it is, wisdom. You need a wisdom to live in the world. And Himalaya mountain, the God are very focused on wisdom. So people have to use meditation to get close to their God. However, the God in the arid deserts, our ancestors there, they only create one God. That's good enough. But this God has to be very powerful. Because if you have this God on your side, if you come in conflict with another tribe, engage in some kind of battle, and the God is on your side, you get with the feel no problem. You are going to have a victory over the other side. So the symbol, the God is really a powerful symbol. He can do everything, even to such extent. The God here, that this God is the creator. He creates everything. So people always want to be his chosen people. And you have to use your prayer to get close to the God as much as you can. Because God might have a new message all the time. And you need to get closer to the God in order to be saved and loved by the God. And you can see that's a lot of different from the Eastern cultures, religion and God. Then why man will create God? Basically, is the question that men are really limited person. We cannot do everything by ourselves. And we need a powerful God to help us. That's why we created God. And that really is my personal touch too in my life. I remember when in 1964, a day before I left Taiwan and I want to come to the United States, my mother, she doesn't know anything. She's she just simple farmer's wife. So she doesn't have very much education, but she knows something feeling about unlimited. She feel I needed protection, so she took me to the Guanyin temple to pray God before I left. I was deeply in touch with her. At the last moment, before I left for United States, she took me to the temple to pray for the God. And when I come to the United States, there's one thing I noticed. Whether you will believe in God or not, we don't know. But the one simple thing I noticed, we really need a God. You know why? Because I love football. And every time I watch the football, I always saw the two teams had to play, had to postpone to decide which offense or defense you want to start with. So they have to still ask the God for the answer. So really, these two personal experience tell me, man need a God for life. I have come to the end of my day's presentation. You know, in my life, I have been writing a book called Life Asks, I Answer, published in Amazon.com. And I simply say, our ancestors in their consciousness world, they have all kind of space they can create. That is, they can create unlimited God. Therefore, my life asks me, what is the civilization is all about, and who created the God, and how God it is to help the human beings. And I really feel myself giving one sentence. That is, God is the man's greatest intervention in human civilization. And that's my conclusion. Okay, today is the end of my presentation. If you like it, please sum up, give comment, or subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.